I know why there's no sound, because I didn't add my phone to the stream. See there? There we are. And I didn't add it. So silly. Never mind. Oh no, I'm so sorry, guys. Well, all of those welcomes and hellos were for no good at all. I feel like we should start over. I'm so sorry. So the first 2 minutes of nothing. So sorry. Okay. All right. It's not just you, it's me. There's a song about that, Taylor Swift song. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Yeah, it's me. I'm so sorry. Hi. Good. Yeah. So all I did was I forgot to add my phone. My phone is the audio source, and that's why you're seeing that I had not added the phone in. So there's a lot of buttons to press before I go live, and that's why if ever I'm a little bit late, and tonight I was sort of rushing at the last second to try and get everything set up for the video, and because I was rushing, I forgot to do something, and that was I forgot to add the phone as the audio source. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch the phone over. I'm hoping it's going to work. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's working. All right, let's get it back up here. But the phone is what receives my sound. So if I don't add the phone into the video, we get nothing. I am so sorry. Yeah, you're watching on the TV, Shirley. That's nice. Everyone can hear me now. That's awesome. I'm so sorry about the 2 minutes of silence. All right. From here, it's all up, right? Let's get going. I was just saying before that you couldn't hear me say it, but I was welcoming everyone, whether you're from local or from overseas. I think most of the overseas girls I know, Louise is here from the UK, but I didn't see, and Gina's here from Canada. So we do have a couple of the overseas girls on, and everybody else is from different parts of Australia. So it's just lovely to have you no matter where you are. Thank you so much. And yesterday afternoon, I know quite a few of you joined me as well. And if you weren't able to join yesterday afternoon for the monthly craft along video, that was at 2 o'clock yesterday, Saturday afternoon. If you weren't able to join in for that, you can watch the replay. All right. So in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the banner up, and I'll try and remember to take it down. This is the blog post that has that video from yesterday and all the alternate videos in it as well. If you wish, you can purchase the alternate videos. If you ordered with me last month, you're going to get them for free. So those should be in your inbox tonight. I've also sent them out to my team members. Those all went out before this video, and then all the ones going out to customers who ordered last month in January. How it works. Every month I do a video that I send out the supplies to everyone who ordered with me $60 or more the month before. So we had lots of people ordering in January, so there was a lot of supply packs that went out this month, simply because last month was celebration, right? And this month is also celebration. In fact, we're almost at the end of it. And that means that anyone who has ordered this month, or if you're placing an order before the 28th, which Tuesday, is that right? Is today the 26th? It is. So Tuesday is the last day of February, the last day of celebration, and it's the last day to get your orders in if you want to be part of the March Craft Along supply pack. So that address there, lhiggins.blogspot.com, is the address that you need to go to. If you didn't order with me, that's okay. You can still purchase the tutorials if you wish. The cost of the tutorials is, there's 5 cards this month in the tutorials. The cost of those is $15 Australian. And if you're overseas and you're wanting to purchase, if you're in the US, right now, $15 Australian is roughly slightly over $10 US. So that gives you a bit of an idea how much you might be paying if you're not sure. But the PayPal does all the conversion for you anyway. You don't have to worry about that. It's a purchase now button there. It says $15 Australian, but when you go through PayPal, it converts it into whatever your local currency is. So that works out well. All right. Okay. Maybe we'll start there. I'm actually going to take the banner down. There we go. Look, I remembered. Yay me. I'm just scrolling down to see if I've missed any questions. If I do miss questions, I will be going through at the end of the video to double check anything that I missed. So sometimes, oh, you love the vellum? Yeah, Louise, that's really nice. I was really happy with them. So let me show them to you. Where did I put them? I think I put them down here. Here we go. All right, so I am going to switch over to the desk phone, and we'll bring that in so that I've got my glass of water here too. This is my Stampin' Up bottle. See that there? This was a gift. Was it last year or the year before? Might have been the year. I think it was the year before for attending a particular conference that we had on. So, yep. So I love having branded stuff because it makes it really easy to show off, and they do very nice gifts. Okay, I just needed a swig of water before I get going, and I promise it's water. It is. I'll have a cider after the video is over. And for my American friends, apple cider in Australia is alcoholic. So I know in the US when you talk about apple cider, it's not alcoholic because my husband is American and he gets a little bit confused by that. But apple cider here does have alcohol in it. All right, let's go. Let's switch over to the phone. I'll have to straighten it up. Here we go. Here we go. It's not straight, but we can fix that. There we go. That's better. All right. So I've got a few things going on tonight. Come on, phone. Go straight for me. Can you hear me again? Is that okay? All right. Let's have a look quickly at the cards that we made yesterday. So this is the card that we made live. Okay, this particular card. In fact, I still got some leftover ink on my table from making this card yesterday. And it is a Z fold card. So it stands like this. Hey, Glenda. Oh, hey, Denise. How you doing? All right, so this is a card that we made yesterday together. Really simple Z fold card. But what I was showing was a couple of different things you can do with vellum, how to manage vellum. So we talked about, how to attach it, how to color it. And also in this case, there's some embossing on there. So how to emboss it as well, which I think this is the quatrefoil embossing folder. Can you see that up close? It's so nice. It's a beautiful soft effect. We used the dry brushed metallic paper, which is my absolute favorite paper from this particular catalog, from the mini catalog. And then we also use some of the Delicate Desert DSP as well. Okay, so that was the card we made live. I've used, some of you in your supply packs had the sequins like these. Here we go. So these ones are the sequins from the desert. Delicate Desert Suede as well, and then some people had the brush metallic dots. So just depending on which pack you got, some of you had one and some had the other. But that's okay. They all went nicely. Then these are some of the other cards that we made. So we did some embossing on vellum. This is heat embossing and colouring. So this is actually the stained glass technique. This one uses water-based ink and water over the back for a really soft effect. And then this one uses blends. I don't know if you can see them. It's a little hard because there's a lot of embossing and there's not a lot of open petals, but you can kind of see the color behind there. So, so that one. Oh, you like the cards, Chris? I'm so glad. That's awesome. Then there was this one. This is my personal favorite. I love cards made out of vellum. Also, acetate makes great cards, but in this case, it's a vellum class. So maybe I'll do an acetate class another time, but this one is a beauty. It turned out really nice. And for this, I used the naturally gilded 12 by 12 paper. This is new paper that's coming out and will be available March the 1st. I'm going to, my second card tonight, we're going to do some playing around with some of the stuff that is coming March 1st. So I'll talk to you more about that. Then we also had a we were embossing, dry embossing on vellum here with this one, which turned out really pretty. And all the tutorials in this are part of this month's class pack. Okay, so this is the blended alcohol technique on vellum. So I really like how that turned out. I love this effect. It's really soft and pretty. I know acetate cards are lovely, Louise, and you can emboss on acetate as well. So yeah, I'm glad you like the cards, guys. I'm so happy. I've been asked a couple of times in the last month a couple of different people how they can support my business or how they can support me even though they're not actually customers of mine. And in some cases, the couple of people that asked me, one was because they were overseas and so they can't purchase with me. And then the other one was, oh, you're welcome, Charmaine. I'm glad you got it. The other one was was because they're already have a demonstrator. They don't, and then I know there are other people who are demonstrators who watch me, and so people have asked me from time to time, how can we support your business? There's a whole bunch of different ways you can support the business. You can like my posts, that's always really helpful, and you can share them, which is even better. If you're able to share, fabulous. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. All these things cost nothing, okay, but they all help me grow, and the support is so much appreciated. So I just wanted to let you know there's lots and lots of ways. But another way that you can is you can purchase my tutorials, because I know I offer a lot of content for free, and I'm very happy to do that because it gives you guys information and gives you good value. But if ever you are wanting to support my business in that small way, you can purchase the tutorials. So I did have, there's one lady here who purchased one of yesterday's tutorials, and I'm very thankful for her. So thank you. No, you can't order from me. I'm not in the UK either, Glenda. I'm in Australia. So, yeah, so if you're not in Australia, you can't order from me. That's how that works. But you can support the business by purchasing the tutorials that are right now live on my my personal blog. So I'll put up the details of that again before the end of this video. Okay, so let's get started. I had a request yesterday. Now, was it Denise that requested or Donna that requested this? Asked me to use Scenic Garden, which is actually a celebration set. And if you're thinking, hang on a second, it's a celebration set, but I don't remember seeing that as a gift with purchase. That's because this was a special one that could only be received if there was a big order going through, whether that be a party or a workshop order for $500 or more. That's $500 is, and here it is here, Scenic Garden. Okay, so it's $500 or more to receive this, and that's whether it's one person just putting in a really big order or whether it's a group of people putting an order in together. Or sometimes I have customers, if I have a number of customers ordering from me and I put all their orders together, that means I end up with the set as well, which is nice, and that's how I got this one. I've actually got several of them, but the Scenic Garden is a really nice little set, and it lends itself really well to colouring. So that's what I thought we might do with it tonight. Was it Donna or was it Denise? It was one of the two. Donna, was it you? You said yes, so I'm thinking it was you. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I have already got it out, this one with the park bench, and I haven't used this stamp before. It was actually... I had to put it together before the class. I mean, I could have put it together while we were chatting, but yeah, I only just put it together, and I'm actually going to put it on a piece of watercolor paper. This one's a little bit smaller. I think that's going to be big enough. Here it is. All right, so I'm going to do a piece of watercolor paper, and we're going to ink this up. Now, if you want a softer effect, a really great way to go is using Saddle Brown Stays-On. We have two coloured Stays-Ons. We have the black, the jet black, okay, and then we have Saddle Brown. I have two Saddle Brown re-inkers, but cannot seem for the life of me to find my Saddle Brown ink pad, which means I'm going to have to buy another one. But that's fine, because it does give you a much softer effect. Actually, I was wondering in the samples that they had here, I think this one here looks like it's been stamped in Saddle Brown. It's very pretty. And then this one looks like it's in black. So, I mean, you can use whichever colour you have or whichever colour you prefer, whatever you like. But I'm going to start tonight with black Stays-On because that's what I have. So let's ink it up. Now, just a quick word about Stays-On ink. A couple of things. First of all, we have a specific Stays-On cleaner. Here it is. Stays-On all-purpose cleaner that actually is great for cleaning Stays-On off your stamps, and I prefer to use it if I'm using rubber stamps. If I'm using photopolymer stamps, I don't like using this on them because I think it damages them and breaks them down much faster than they need to be broken down. So I much prefer to use Stays-On and Stays-On cleaner on my rubber stamps, not my photopolymer stamps. having said that, if I ever do have to use a photopolymer stamp and use Stays On, if you clean it straight away with your regular Stampin' Mist and scrub, it will mostly come clean anyway. So you don't really need, sorry, I'm just going to bring my head in because I want to get close enough to this. You don't really need to worry about it if you're cleaning them straight away, which with Stays On, I recommend you do. Right. So that's light coloring, but that's fine because we don't want it to be too dark. Okay. So I'm going to cut this down. Let me bring my, and so you can see that's about 9.5 centimeters wide, and top to bottom looks okay. The width of it is 8.5, or actually, well, it's actually 3 1/4, which is about 8.3 centimeters, 3 1/4 inches, that is, or the length of it is 3 3/4 inches, which is 9.5 centimeters. So if you're wondering what size paper to put it on, that's about right. All right. Now I've got some aqua painters here, and I do have a brush one. I don't know whether I will be using that tonight, but we'll find out. I'm going to start with some, oh, actually crumb cake. I think crumb cake might be better. My crumb cake, the light has made, some of you may have had this happen as well. Oh, we haven't been able to order that one on a demonstrator order. No, you would have been able to get it possibly, Shirley, before. There's usually a pre-order before Celebration goes live, and once it goes live, the only way to get it is by having a $500 order. You can't order it separately. So even as a demonstrator, you haven't been able to, but they usually have it available for demonstrators before pre-order. Sorry, before the Celebration goes live. I hope that answers that question. Which question was that, Jen? Was that about how to get hold of it as a demonstrator? All right, I'm going to use, okay, I've put some crumb cake here on a block. There are a number of ways to get the ink from here. You don't want to use your water pen straight into the ink pad because you can kind of make your ink pad go a bit weird. You can squeeze it really, really and really tight, like squeeze it really hard, and then it pulls some ink here, and you can pick it up from here like I'm doing now, or you can do what I just did, dip in a small block into it and then pick up the color from the block. I find that's the easiest way actually, but I'm just going to go now. I'm going to actually water it down a bit by running a bit of water through it, and then we're just going to color now. So you can be fairly, what's the word? Fairly haphazard with this. Squeeze a bit of water if you want it to be lighter. And if you want to add a bit of darker color, just go back in without watering it down. So I'm just going to add basic color to this. I'm being quite rough. You'll see that the Stays On ink will not run. That's the whole point of Stays On. It stays on. Oh, the cleaning the stamps. Yeah, it's good to know, isn't it? So just going to, so I haven't decided yet what to do for my craft along next month. I mean, we did a technique this month, so I'm thinking maybe next month we do a style of card, but I haven't decided. I thought about maybe doing, you know, some sort of special card fold, which is always fun to do. There's so many around. We've done easel cards, we've done diorama cards, we've done lots actually. Did you know you can go back and order past tutorials if you want to as well? So there is actually a page at the top of my blog that allows you to see past tutorials and order those if you wish. All right, so you can be really haphazard about the way you paint this, and I kind of like it if you are. I think it looks better than trying to get it perfect and make it look really amazingly uniform. That's kind of boring. What you want to do is have some dark, some light, some bits of white left in places. That looks really good as well. All right, I'm happy with that. That's not looking too bad. All right, now I'm going to add some green to some of these leaves, and then we've also got some little flowers in there. My favorite green to work with is very often Mossy Meadow, but I'm wondering, Mossy Meadow is such a nice green, but maybe I'll use a retiring one tonight because we've got Evening Evergreen. We know that's going to be retiring soon. And this is your public service announcement for things we know are soon to retire. We know that the celebration stuff is about to retire because it only runs until the 28th of this month. We know that the in-color range that goes to 2023 is due to expire in April, but I can promise you it's going to sell out. Most of that stuff will sell out well and truly before the end date, so don't wait around. If you're after refills, particularly for your ink pads, such as Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, so these are the ones that are retiring, guys. I'm just going to pull them out for you so you can see which ones I mean. All right, these are the ones. All right, this set, they're the ones that will retire, and you want to check them. Make sure you have ink refills. Okay. Also, if you want to make sure there's plenty of cardstock, I would be getting cardstock early as well. I don't usually expect the cardstock to sell out as quickly as the refills. That for some reason seems to be the first thing, but cardstock usually goes as well. And any of the things that are in these colors that people see as necessities. So I would be grabbing any of those that you want to make sure you have them for years and years. Are you sad evening? Well, here's the thing, Glenda. If you never know, okay, we are all sad that some of these colors are going, but Stampin' Up has been known to bring back past in colors at a future date. We do not know if that will happen. Okay, I'm certainly not trying to tell you it is going to happen, but well, here's Mossy Meadow. After all, I don't know. I do love it. And I love how it looks with water. All right, so I'm just going to grab a small block. Just block A here is fine. I was going to go with Evening Evergreen, but I'm not. Right, so you can see mine's very inky, and I'm going to actually drip a bit of water on that and mix it up. And what happens, Mossy Meadow goes this beautiful color. It's a lot like Old Olive, but it's kind of lighter and brighter. And I'm just going to use the tip of my water painter to sort of add a bit of color to some of these leaves. You can be very, once again, very haphazard with it. We don't want to go crazy overboard with these. We just want to add a bit of color to it. And I'm just using the very, very, very tip of my water painter. Before this class started tonight, I made sure I had water in all my water painters that I wanted to use. In a water painter pack, let me see if I've got a pack handy. I do. Okay, this is a pack how they come. Okay, they come with a small, medium, and brush. When I say brush, I mean a big fat brush tip in your water painters. Okay, so you want to, when you get them, you will get the 3, and they are absolutely fabulous, and they're all used, those different tips are all used for different things. So your fine tip is great for really fine work like this. This is super fine. And there's the medium one's probably the one I use the most because you can cover a lot of ground with the medium one. And then the brush is fabulous for behind. Like if you wanted to create a wash, then that's absolutely fantastic. So really, really great. And you just add water straight from the tap. They unscrew here in the middle. You unscrew them just like that. Okay, and screw it back together. And it goes the opposite way than what you expect it would with the screwing in and out. So just be aware of that. All right, a bit too much water there. If there's too much water, you can use if you've got a bit of paper towel or a bit of sponge and just blot it. I get excess water off. And you can see this is getting lighter as I go because the water is really diluting that dark mossy meadow color. All right. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. We just want it to sort of look a bit dotty around. And now we get to decide what color flowers do we want. Do we want red? I'm thinking, you know, a color I don't use very much is Sweet Sorbet, and I'm thinking that might be really pretty for these. What do you guys think? Or we could go with a purple if you thought we should use Fresh Freesia or Highland Heather. What color should we use for our flowers, or should we use more than one color? Does the refill ever go off? Not that I'm aware of. We did have a stage, Kelly, where we changed the formula of some of our inks, especially when we went from the old felt style pads to the ones we have now, which are foam. They changed the formula of some of the refills, and some of the refills were no longer compatible. The old refills were no longer compatible with the new ink pads. So that's the only time I've heard of an ink pad not being useful for years to come. So it is. That's very true. I have one customer. I don't know if she's watching tonight, but she knows who she is if she's watching. She goes through all her colors and she orders 3 refills of all the colors that she loves, and that's because she does not want to lose them. So papaya and sorbet. Oh, sweet sorbet and papaya. Okay. That's an interesting color choice. All right, so a new in color and an older in color. This one's retiring. That's in the retiring list. I'm going to squeeze some water through this one. This is the one I use for the crumb cake. So I'm just going to keep squeezing water through until it comes clear. That's pretty good. And I'm going to start with the papaya because that's the lighter color. Okay, and let's get a small block for this one. All right. And let's pick up some of that. And I'm not going to dilute it too much because I would like a fair bit of color. I don't really want a lot of watery stuff going on. So let's, now the sweet sorbet will be a lot more obvious, being the darker of the two. Right, so I'm going to go up to, I'm going to use the same block because I'm going into a darker color and it won't hurt it at all. So now, almost too dark, needed to dilute it just a little bit. It's a nice color, the sweet sorbet, isn't it? I have to be honest and say I haven't used it very much, and I probably need to fix that because, yeah, it's a nice color and it looks really good with these little tiny flowers and the green leaves. Looks really pretty. So you can see it stands out a lot more than the papaya. But I like the color choice. Thanks, girls. Thanks, Ellen. It was your comment I saw. All right, what are we thinking? We're liking this? How's that looking? All right. So to clean the blocks, I just clean them the same as I clean a stamp. So I pop my scrub here. I make sure it's got some mist, and I just clean it off. Actually, my scrub needs a good clean. For those of you who don't know, it's easy to clean the scrubs. There's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can actually, there's clips that hold these fluffy pads in, so you can see the fluffy pads. All right, there's clips that hold those in, and you can take the pads out and wash them. I actually don't. I just leave them in because I don't want to be putting them in, and I'm worried about, possibly damaging the clips. But I just find it's just as easy to clean them in. I literally run it under the tap in my sink, and I just rub it with my fingers, and you will be amazed at how much ink comes out of it, and it comes out and it comes out, and I just keep rubbing with the water running over it until it comes clear. You can add a little bit of detergent if you want to, but that's not necessary really, and you just keep running it till the water comes clear. Then you do the other side, and even though the cleaning side is this side gets lots of ink and dirt on it as well, so do both sides. And then what I do is I blot it with a towel to get as much water out of it as I can, and then I put it out in the sun to dry. So I just find that that's the easiest way to clean my scrub. Oh, I missed a flower. Let's see, have I got any red? There's a little flower down here. Let's have another bit. Did I miss any more? I probably did, but that red is really nice. All right, so I'm now thinking this is something, it's almost like I can't quite help myself. I could just leave it like that, but I'm thinking we might want a little bit of sky and maybe a little bit of green down here towards the bottom, but I don't want to go with the dark green. So I'm actually going to try doing a little bit of pear pizzazz. And I need to find the right color. And I do have a green one, but for the life of me, I can't find it right now. So, we could also try soft succulent would also work. But I'm going to try pear pizzazz. Let's see. Pear pizzazz is a little bit of a yellowish green, so it's more like an old olive or a mossy meadow, whereas soft succulent's got a really strong blue undertone. So I'm just going to very lightly go over the bottom of this because I want it to sort of all blend together. I'm just going to, that's kind of nice. Yeah, I like it. There we go. Just a little bit of a green kind of just unifies everything, which looks really nice. And then at the top, I'm going to grab my pool party because that's probably my preferred color for like a sky background. And let's see how we go with that. And I'm just going to go very, very lightly in around. Yeah, it's a nice thing to do, Heather, isn't it? It's very therapeutic, very relaxing to hand paint your images. So I'm very, very lightly going over this. And I think that's probably enough. I'm just going to add a tiny bit here in the middle because it will look like there's some blue behind that. And I think that's plenty. I say as I continue. Never mind. Okay, I'm liking that. What do we think? Is that good? I think it is. I think that's nice. All right, let's move these out of the way. And then I'm going to actually construct my card. Now, I thought that I would use one of the celebration papers tonight. And my favorite paper in the Dainty Flowers paper, if you don't have it, it's this one. I love this piece of paper. And you can cut it down the middle and then get 6 full-size cards out of it. It's beautiful. Here's a card I made a while back just with this exact paper. You can see this little bit, these 2 daisies right here. They look like everlasting daisies, those, don't they? And it's just, I didn't even want to use a full label because I didn't want to cover too much of the design. So I used nearly just over half of a label and sort of edged it off so I wasn't covering up too much of my design. So easy, easiest card ever, just beautiful. All right, this paper is stunning, and this is one of the papers that's going to be going away come Tuesday is its last day. Here's another card made with the same paper. This oval of little wreath of flowers is also part of that paper. They're just stunning, so beautiful. They are a free gift with purchase if you're purchasing $90. If you have an order that's a $90 or more, you can purchase that and it's free with your order. So I'm thinking that this would be nice background behind here. What do you think? Do you think this is going to look good? I think it will. So I'm deciding which color paper I want to go with, and I'm thinking maybe crumb cake, which is the color that I've used for here. So I'm thinking this is going to go nice. So let's pull this out, and I'm going to make it, it's going to be 14.3 centimeters by 10. And I'm deciding whether we want this, do we want this to be a portrait? I think maybe a landscape. I think landscape might be better. Do you agree? Let's do landscape tonight. So then that means I'm going to be measuring this to be 9.5. So it's half a centimetre smaller than the piece that's 10 wide. And I'm not going to make it as long though. I don't want to cover the whole thing. I think I will make it, let's see. Let's start with 10 and see how that looks. And if it's not right, that's okay. Actually, that might be good. So it will go over like this, and then we can have our greeting down the bottom here. What do you think? Do we like that? Landscape is good. Good. Yep. Okay. All right. So we could put a map behind that, but it's very sturdy being on watercolor paper, and I don't know that it actually needs one, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and use my, I wasn't ashamed to cut up this paper. Oh my goodness. That is my favorite piece in the pack. I'm going to pretend that I didn't see that on the back. So let's pop this here. So this is Old Olive Green in this paper, which is once again a yellow based green, which is going to go in with the other yellow based colors that we've used. There's a tiny bit of green there on the edge. I could not worry about it, or I can and just ever so tight, just put that in and get rid of that tiny little bit. There we go, that's better. All right, so this is going to go here, and I think on dimensionals, like I said, I could put a map behind it, but this is very sturdy, so you don't really need to if you don't want to, so I'm not going to. I'm going to grab my dimensionals and put one in each corner. And just one in the middle, because no one likes to sag, especially as we get older, right? So let's, yep, some ribbon might be good, Kelly. It's a good suggestion. Oh, Lucky Mojo. You know what? There's one of the best ways to get your mojo back, in my experience. I mean, there's a few different ways. One is watching videos just like this, and you can get inspired by, you know, something that might surprise you. Another way of doing it is to take part in a challenge. So maybe a sketch challenge or a color challenge. And because you're sort of thinking about the parameters of the challenge, you forget that you don't have any mojo, and you just sit down and you make it, and all of a sudden you made a card and you go, oh, that feels good. And then you start to get your mojo back. So that is something that I would think maybe might be useful to you. Maybe. All right. So I have got my mini cut and emboss machine here, the little blue one. Now, some of you, if you haven't seen this before, this is a joining special this month. This little machine is part of our joining offering, which is, I think, absolutely fantastic. Best thing like this they've had in a very long time. I haven't even, you know, here I am cutting I'm cutting a greeting for size. So I decided this is the size that I want to have, and I want to have it going just over the corner here, so it's not going to cut off much of our design. But I haven't even decided what words I want to put on it. I'm just going with what size I want to use, which is kind of crazy. But let me find, we might as well use another celebration set. This one's got some nice, we've got for a feeling better kind of day. That would look really nice on that little banner. We could have for a very happy birthday. What else have we got? I'm looking to see what other celebration sets have nice words in them. We also have, oh, it looks like spring. That could work. There's no one quite like you. That's really nice. What do you think, guys? Anyone got a favorite saying? You're very welcome, Donna. So welcome. Oh, that's weird, Jenny. I can see you there. All right. So, which one shall we have? I'm having a look. No one quite like you. All right. Yep. All right. That should work okay with this sentiment. And if it doesn't, we'll make it work. All right. So I've got my, and I've been giving little tips because something Stampin' Up did with us recently was they showed us some tips about how to get the most out of your cut and emboss machines. And that's whether you have the mini one or one of the big ones. And that is using the concept of putting, when you put the plates through, I was always trying to line them up. Okay. And sometimes my mini machine would complain about that. So I'd have this here, and then I have my paper and bits and pieces. I'd line them all up and try and get them through with this flat end through. Okay, didn't always work. Can you see how they're all kind of at the same level? So what they've suggested to us is that you bring the second one, the one in the middle, back so that it forms, I don't know if you can see this, an E. Okay, so you got the top, you got the middle, and the middle one is back, so it's forming like an E shape. All right, if you do that, it's going to go through a little happier because it flexes as it goes through. I'm just going to put this on here. I probably should stamp it first and then put it through, but hey, I like a challenge. So let's put that on top and with that E formation, and it just takes it so much easier. All right, so that's a really good tip. If you haven't heard that before, that was something that Stampin' Up did for its demonstrators recently in a bit of training that they offered. Yeah. All right, so what's the story with the Boho Blue mini machine? The story is that Boho Blue is a color that is going to be part of our new in color range this year. So we have been given a little bit of a little sneak peek of what is going to be an in color. So let me find, there is no one quite like you. Let's see if this fits on here. And if it doesn't, I guess I'll be using something else, but I'm pretty sure it will. So yeah, it's going to fit. It's going to fit just fine. Let's put this on a block. I've got block, is this B? Yeah, block B is what I'm using. So, and that's the carrot set, which is another celebration set. Right, let's go with Mossy Meadow. I like using a darker color when I'm applying a sentiment because I like it to stand out. And I'm going to pop this here on my grid. And sorry, I've got to put my head in. Sorry. And let's stamp that down. Looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Let's bring this in. I'm going to have it just going over the corner here. Now, because this is on dimensionals, I'm going to need a dimensional behind here as well, but only on one end, okay, because this end is going to sit on top of here, and I don't want it having a dimensional on it and then being too high. So I'm going to have a dimensional on this end, but only glue on this end. So I'm going to stick a bit of glue there, Tombow, but whatever glue you like. And then we're going to put a dimensional on the other end. And then we're going to pop that over. It's going to sit there like that. Now I do feel like it needs something. Definitely needs bling, and Jodie's not even here to ask us for it, but it definitely needs that. And then we have some different ribbon choices. We could go with some soft seam binding ribbon, and we also have our sparkly organdy ribbon. But I'm thinking maybe a better color might be nice, and I'm thinking about, I think maybe this guy. This is Pool Party sheer Pool Party ribbon. I think that's the one I want to use. It's very pretty and really easy to tie. And I love it a lot. So let's do a little bow with that. I do love the shine on this ribbon. It's gorgeous. Like I said, super easy to tie. And then you can also manipulate it and play with it so that, you know, the loops are the size that you want them to be. So it's bit of fun for this ribbon. If you're looking for good, easy to tie ribbon, this is a great choice. Pool Party Sheer Ribbon. It's in the annual catalogue and I love it. All right. So I'm not quite sure where I want to put this. Normally I would like it below my sentiment, but my sentiment is quite low down. So let me snip off the ends of this. We're also going to need some bling. Sheer Pool Party, you like it, Joan? Good. Yeah, thank you. I think it's turning out quite pretty, isn't it? So let's pop that on with the glue dot. I've got some of those right here. In fact, this is a new pack. Look at that. Right there on the end. Move it down slightly. So long as it's not interfering with the words, I think it is right. And of course we could use our good old iridescent rhinestones. Those will work really well. Let me see. We could also use our brass butterflies too. They might look pretty with the Scenic Garden. That could be a go. We also have iridescent pearls. No, I don't think the iridescent pearls are what I'm looking for. Does anyone have any thoughts on what would look good? Oh, top right corner would be good too. So I'm deciding whether I want gold or it's actually brushed brass butterflies, or whether I want to. There's also, I could use some of these Coastal Cabana sequins because they would match in with my Pool Party background and my Pool Party ribbons. So those would look nice as well. Good choices. Iridescent rhinestone butterfly, says Ellen. Actually, that's a great idea, Donna. I never thought of that. Donna suggested it could be a good retirement card. Never thought of it. That's a fantastic idea. Butterflies is Ellen, and that was the first. So we're going to go with the butterflies because that was the first comment. So so I'm going to use my take your pick tool to use the pokey tool end, the pointy end. And I'm going to pop one right here. And I think there's two sizes in here. I think I'll do one larger one here on the edge, and then a small little guy up here. There we go. And then of course it needs to go onto a card base. So let's grab just a basic white thick card base. And there we go. Bone folder, where are you? There we go. Squeaky chair again. So what do we think? Do we like this card? I think it turned out really pretty. I like it a lot. Oh, Gina's off. Oh, you catch the rest later. Yeah, I can imagine 2:30 is not the time to be watching a video, is it? Why aren't you sleeping? Goodness me. All right, so let's pop this. So I am playing with celebration things tonight. We used a set, we used some paper, and we used a sentiment from a different set. And the reason I wanted to do that tonight is because this is the last Sunday night that I'll be using these beautiful things, because they are leaving us on Tuesday. The end is nigh. So if there was any of the celebration items you wanted to get before they go, you do need to get your order in by Tuesday. Okay, thank you. I like it too. I think it turned out really pretty. And it's not a hard card. We spent a little bit of time with the colouring, but I think it was worth it. And just that little bit of watercolour just looks really pretty. You're very welcome. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow then, Gina. Thank you so much for popping on. All right, let's pop that one to one side. I've got stuff everywhere, but hey, what else is new? get rid of some of the ribbons. And some of the colours that are floating around the desk. And then I'm going to bring in something completely different. So yesterday, as you know, I did vellum techniques, all right? One technique that I almost included but didn't because I couldn't include everything was shaker cards. Now, I don't know that I'll have time to do a full shaker card. Maybe I will. We'll see. Let's see. How are we going for time? I'm looking at the time, 8:25. All right, so I need to get a wriggle on. That's what I need to do. I did do a card a few weeks ago with these and the dies, and this is a similar card except I included a vellum layer to make it act as a shaker card. Okay, so and then I added some sequins and some bits and pieces, and you can kind of see the design. There's some leaves and things in there. Okay, kind of turned out pretty, but I wanted to do something different. I want to show you how these dies work. The dies are lovely. They really are. And I do love the paper as well. You might remember I did a window card with this in it a few weeks ago. But let's just see how we go. I've got a petal pink card base. And I'm thinking, will I use petal pink or will I? Okay, let's just go with it. I'm going to use petal pink. So this is one of the colors that is featured in this lovely paper. And I made some cards the other day, and I think I did post them. I made some cards for a swap I was in with this paper, this one here, and they turned out so beautiful because it's really soft and pretty. And I've used this one a couple of times. Am I going to use it again? Maybe I'm going to use it again. We'll see. I have got, yeah, why not? All right, so I have got a piece here that is going to fit on the front of my card. So I'm going to measure it to card front size. So I'm doing this the opposite way. The other time I did a cardstock front and then had my paper inside the window. I'm going to go the other way this time. So this is 10 centimeters wide, and I'm going to, which way will I go? I'm actually going to cut off the bottom because I actually want to have a bit of space at the top. So this is going to be 14.3 long. All right. And I've realized because I'm going to be doing this whole piece, I won't be able to use my mini cut and emboss machine because I'm going to need the bigger machine because this is too wide to fit through. Not by much. Like if I was using this piece, it would fit through, but my die is bigger than that. So the die will fit through by itself, but not with this size. Not with this size piece. So here are the dies. How nice are they? Aren't they gorgeous? Now, what is this I'm showing you? Okay, lids on your aqua painters. I don't even know where the lids are, so sorry. Chris, I don't always put the. I mean, there's only water in them, water out of the tap. So I don't usually put the lids back on, to be honest. Sometimes, if I was going to take them somewhere, but when they're just hanging around my desk, I don't worry about it. You don't worry. All right. You don't part with any of your stamps. Yeah, exactly, Kelly. Look, a lot of people don't part with their stamps. It's like they feel like, they want to rub them and say my precious because they're babies and very much loved, and I get that. But as a demonstrator, I've been a demonstrator for nearly 17 years. And when you've been a demonstrator that long, you can't keep everything. You just have to let things go. And because I'm always interested in what's new and I'm trying to run it as a business, I want to move stuff on so I can make room for new stuff. So it is a totally different way of thinking, different mindset. So yeah, just really different. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be using this beautiful, beautiful die, okay? I am going to show you how it works, right? I'm going to cut that out, and it's going to come out straight out of the middle here. So let me bring in my machine. And I'm actually going to cut it out of a couple of things and show you a couple of things with it. So I'm bringing in the big machine, my big baby. This is my big cut and emboss machine, which is my workhorse. And let me scroll out a little bit so you can see it better. So give me a second. I've actually got to physically raise the phone stand so you can see, and you get to see more of the mess on my desk as well. So I don't know if that's a good thing, but anyway. All right, so I'm going to put this through, and we're going to run it all the way through. So when I pull this out, you can see all those pieces fall out beautifully. It's really nice die, and you can see how lovely that is. Isn't that beautiful? Really, really nice. The piece that I cut out I might use for something else because that's quite nice. So I'll put that to one side. While I'm here though, and while I've got the die out, I am actually going to show you something else you can do with it. Give me a second. I've got some black cardstock here on my desk. So I just need to move things out of the way that I've dumped on top of it. Goodness me, there it is. Found it. All right. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece out of this black, and I just want to show you something else you can do with it if you haven't got this die yet, because it's very, very versatile. Okay, really fun. Right, so this time it's cut out of my black. I'm going to move this out of the way. So you can see what it does. It cuts the beautiful shapes in the middle, but it doesn't cut the outside of the circle so that these shapes stay attached, okay, which gives you a lot of, let me just pull this back down. Zoom, zoom, zoom. All right. So, you know, there's a lot you can do with this, but one of the things you can do with it is grab a pair of scissors and perform a little bit of surgery. I'm going to go around the edges and I'm going to chop it where it joins the outer circle. Here we go. And so now we have this lovely piece like a wreath. It's very soft and delicate, but you can do all kinds of fun things with it. So it's nice for, I did see that one of my girls who followed along with Craft Along yesterday used this as the swirl behind her front sentiment. So I had included in my supply pack a little swirly shape, but for people who were crafting along but didn't have the swirly dies or didn't have the supply pack, this was what one of them used, and I thought that's really clever. Great way to use that die. So you can see I'm just sort of neatening up these little edges that I cut. Or you can cut it flat too. You can also do that. Right, so that's how that looks. And then if I'm not going to put it on here obviously, but you can circle it on different things and it looks really, really pretty. It's like a wreath, but it's also a great way of showing it like a focal point. So I just wanted to show you that you can do that with this die. Or if you leave it as is, it cuts out like a window, a swirly window. All right, so that's what we're doing. So this is going to go on here if that's what we would like, which I do think looks rather nice. This is the front of my card. Just for something a bit of interest, I'm going to add a bit of color to this because we're going to be able to see it through our vellum window. So I'm going to grab, I think this is Petal Pink. I'm going to go up to a slightly darker color. I'm going to go up to Flirty Flamingo, which has also got quite a bit of apricot-y coral kind of tones in this pink. So I'm going to pick up, you can see I'm picking it up here with my brush. I'm looking to see where this is going to need it. I just want to have a bit of color here. So I'm just going to swirl my color around. And you don't need to be precise or anything like that. This is just that you will see a little bit of this behind the vellum when we put the vellum in. Now, if you wanted to, you could also use acetate instead of vellum, and then you would have a clear window. I like the acetate, the vellum, because it gives you a softer effect, and that's really pretty. That's really nice. All right, so how do we do this? We're going to need a piece of vellum. I've already got a piece cut. This is a little bit, so this piece is 10 centimeters wide, so I've made this 9.5 by 9.5 because I just need it to fit behind here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to glue this in, and I'm going to glue it directly to the back. So the easiest way to glue is to use Tombow, but you can use any glue you like, but it's easiest to do this because you can just do one big line, big circle right around, and that's going to be enough to give you a good strong bond behind your vellum. And then because this is square, I'm just going to pop it up here near the top, and that's going to adhere, make contact all the way around. All right, so then that is attached. Now if you want to, these are loose, okay, if you want to and you would like to have them stuck down, you can put behind some of the bigger circles, you can pop that down there, and that's going to hold that down, and so on behind some of the bigger circles. You could use glue dots too, but I think Tombow is just as easy, especially if you've just used it to do the circle behind you. You've still got it in your hand, but you can leave it loose as well if you would like it to be loose, because that's kind of a nice look as well. So I'm just going to stick a couple of them down and leave the rest. All right, does that make sense what we've got there? So now we have a vellum window, which looks really pretty, okay? And when we put this behind here, you can see some of that darker pink behind there in the middle, yeah? So that looks really nice. If you wanted to, you could emboss on this. You could have a greeting or something like that. I could emboss it in white, which would look really nice, and tie in with my white flowers. I think that would be a lovely way to do this. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab myself some adhesive strips. Now we have these in our annual catalogue, the foam adhesive strips, and these are specifically made for this kind of thing, for shaker cards and the like. So what you do is you grab out one of these. Now it's actually going to take more than one. I've got two there. Whoops. All right, and it's got adhesive on both sides. What you're going to do is you're going to put this, doesn't matter where you start, but it needs to be not in view of the window. So I want to make sure it's not too close to the edges. You don't want to go over the edges. There's a few different ways to use these strips, but I quite like this. Is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Oops, that's a bit close. I know, isn't the paper beautiful? So the paper's available to demonstrators now, but don't worry everybody, it will be available to everybody else on the 1st of March, which is on Wednesday. So if you love this paper, it will be available then, okay? Now you can see it didn't make it all the way around. That's okay. I've got a piece here that I had left over from last time, and I am going to, first of all, there can't be any gaps, okay? You want to butt this up really hard against the other piece, and then come down here and make sure this one joins up to this piece. But as you can see, it's going to go over the top. So how I do that, I grab my scissors, which I had literally a moment ago. It's all right, I'll grab another pair of scissors if I can't find those ones. Seriously, I just had them. Dear. One day I'm going to get through a video. One day I'm going to get through a video without losing something, and you'll all fall over. I know you will. Here they are. Or here's actually, this is another pair. That's fine. Different. Oh, they're right there. Oh my gosh. What is wrong with me? Does everybody else do that? You lose stuff and it's right in front of you? I'm surprised somebody didn't tell me. Never too late, Leslie. That's fine. Don't ever worry about that. All right, so what was the question? How much is the stamp die set? Okay, so they're called Hello Irresistible is the suite. The stamp set is Irresistible Blooms, and the matching dies are also called Irresistible Blooms. I'm just going to, oh gosh, I'm glad you guys do make me feel better about myself knowing that you do it too. Thank you so much. All right, I am actually going to go into the Stampin' website and quickly look at the price of these for you, Donna. Just a second. Won't be a moment. I'll tell you. So they're called online exclusives. They're not in a catalogue. Okay, they're just available through your demonstrator or on the online store. And everything, let me tell you, it's coming up now. Okay, so the stamp set is 44, the dies are 61, but if you're buying them together, the stamps and the dies as a bundle, they work out to be $94.50. So that's a saving of 10%. They're in cling, which means they're rubber stamps. Then there's the 6x6 Hello Irresistible paper that I've showed you. It's absolutely beautiful. That is $21.75. $21.75 for standard paper, which makes me think that that might be a new price for regular paper, maybe in our new catalog. I guess we'll find out. Then we also have the loose frosted dots, which I'll get out in a second and show you. Those are really pretty. If you're feeling very extravagant, you could add them to your shaker card, but that would be quite an expensive way of doing it. I could do it just for, oh, I've got to add my shaker. All right. So now that I've got this here, I need to put in my bits that I want to shake. These are the loose dots. I might use them and then perform surgery on my cards so you can see them because they're very pretty. Okay, so you've got the pinks, similar, the Flirty Flamingo, that's actually this color that I added before. There's Pretty Peacock in there. And what's the yellow? Daffodil Delight, I think. Daffodil Delight. So very, very pretty. You could add them to this, but that would be, like I said, quite an expensive way of going. I often scour, if I want sequins and things like that to put in shaker cards, a really great place to go is go check out the clearance rack, because quite often there'll be sequins and little embellishments that you can use in shaker cards in the clearance rack, which makes them a really good buy, really super cheap. All right, so I have got some metallics sequins, but they've got a lot of black in them, and I don't know if I want to use them. So just for fun tonight, I am going to use some of these, and then I'll probably take them back later. But let's just have a look. We'll put that there. Now, how this would work is you would normally, okay, actually I can't. I've made this very hard for myself because this piece is bigger than this. So what I'm actually going to do, so I'm going to put them here. I'm going to bundle them all up in the middle. So I'm going to put them here in the center. This is the, if your piece is bigger, if you had a smaller piece and you were putting it, if this piece was going on from behind, which is what I did last time, then it's easy to position it from reverse. But when your piece that you're putting is actually, this piece here is larger, you can't see exactly where you're going. So you want to have this positioned right in the middle, because then you can put these over the top. All right, now the other thing you might want to do is put some dimensionals under here to make these the same height. And I just want to kind of, well, I didn't stick it down properly, but I want to show you this is how you would do it, what to do and what not to do. I have just made a mess of this by doing it the wrong way. But if I had put them down in the middle first, which would have been the smart thing to do, then I wouldn't have a problem now with them falling out of the bottom. I'm going to create, I will put this together and get it fixed up and show you. We'll post it tomorrow so that you can see what the actual outcome is. And I'm going to add a greeting to it as well. But right now, it's about to be a disaster if I don't perform a little bit of surgery on it. But I want you to see that with vellum, this looks very, very pretty. And we see a little bit of that darker pink coming through from behind as well. And it's really nice. What else would you use them for? What do you mean, the loose dots? These I would apply them like normal embellishments, and the easiest way to apply them is by adding like a little dot of Tombow, just adding a dot like that, and then using your take your pick tool. Let me grab one, or let me see, I've got a take your pick tool here. I like the putty end for this, and then pick up the one that you want. All right, and then just place it on the glue dot. Sorry, not glue dot. I'm using, and that's how I would attach them. Okay, so pretty easy to attach with a take your pick tool. Makes a lot of sense. Hey, Brenton. They can be shaker shapes, but I think that they are very useful in their own right as dots like this. I think they're really pretty, and they've got that frosted look, so they're too pretty to be hidden behind something as shaker cards. Ah, there you go. That's all right. No problem, Susan. Oh, no, I was looking for the scissors that were sitting right here, those ones. Now I have two, look. I don't think I'll lose scissors again tonight because I've got two pairs sitting right here on my desk now, but, you know, anything's possible. All right, so I'm not going to do anything else with that card. I'm going to attack it and give it a little bit more TLC, and you'll see it posted in the next day or two. The other one we did, though, and this is the other one that I was talking about, this one has the paper underneath and then the plain cardstock on top. This one we went the other way. To be honest, I think I like this best. I like it nice because you can see more of the beautiful paper. I do like that. But the other card we made tonight was this one, and I really love how that turned out. And that's our last play. My last play with celebration stuff. So celebration paper, which is the dainty flowers, a celebration set, which is the scenic garden, and the celebration set for the sentiment, which is the thanks a bunch, the one with the carrots. You would use window sheets? Yeah, window sheets certainly look lovely as well, but I love, especially when you're using soft colors like this, I love the softness of the vellum. I think that's very, very pretty. So it's another nice way to add something a little bit special to your cards. Okay, I think we're done, guys. Heading off. I'm off. You're off to sleep, Margaret. We might see you tomorrow. For team members, anyone watching, I'm not sure if I'm going to be live right at 10 tomorrow because my husband has an appointment in the morning and I might be going with him. So I will let you know in the group if that's not the case. For everybody else, enjoy your last couple of days of celebration. If you were thinking about joining as a demonstrator, please do it in the next 2 days because it's such a good deal. You can either join for $169 and get $315 worth of products of your choice, anything you like for that $315, or you can spend $210 and get that $315 worth of product and get a mini cut and emboss machine in either white or boho blue. All right, I hope you had some fun tonight with me. I'm looking forward to making more cards during the week, and I can't wait for the Irresistible Blooms stuff to be live. I think you're really going to love these things. Look out for lots more coming with this set. Have a great week, guys. Bye-bye.